Hey there guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well and welcome to my 2019 setup video. I was looking through my channel and I haven't done one of these since 2015, so it's about time that I updated you guys with all the gear that I use, and also I recently purchased a few things just to upgrade this all, make it a bit more recent tech. I've been using a lot of the same stuff for quite a while. There's a few things on here that I think maybe some of you guys would be interested in getting, or you might be thinking of buying, and I can give you my opinions on them, because almost everything in here actually I bought myself. Some of my previous setup videos, some of the stuff was sponsored, but almost everything here is stuff I've just bought myself, so I can give you a nice honest opinion, as well as give you guys some suggestions to things you could get if you want to get alternatives to what I have. You've got to bear in mind that this is my livelihood, so I saved up and I've bought some more of the high-end stuff here. Not necessary for if you want to do what I want to do, but some of it is just for show, but some of it actually really does help me make much better videos. I've got to say apologies for the bad audio quality. I'm just using the microphone in my camera, which is obviously nowhere near the audio quality I normally have, but I'm sure you guys will be able to deal with that and get used to it, no problems. So let's start over here. First of all, we have this chair that I bought. I wanted to show this because I did spend a bit of money on this. This is from Noble. I think they've got 3 chairs at the moment, and this one is a hero chair, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, if you went to the Noble website, you'd see they're making 3 chairs at the moment. I went with this one. It's like the largest one they do. I like a nice big chair. I like to relax in it, so if I can get like a large size one, that's always good. I had a like slightly smaller one before, and it was a little bit too small for me, but this one's cool. It's kind of just a simple design. I didn't want anything too garish, too loud, and I didn't want bright colours, big holes in the seats, and I think this is kind of classy. Not cheap. This is around £350, this one, but if you do end up getting this, you probably won't be disappointed. I think it's nice high quality, and yeah, I'm glad I got it actually. It is a very nice chair to sit on indeed. Moving on, let's talk about the PC. I guess this is the showcase of any workstation, and mine is a little bit of a over-the-top fancy one, but I did save up for quite a while and wanted to get myself one with all the bells and whistles. Previously to this PC, every PC I ever had was all about functionality. Never had any LED strips, or if I did, it was very subtle, but I went all out with this one because I wanted to get something that would last but also look cool as like a centerpiece here. So this is from PC Specialist, and I am sponsored by them, although they didn't tell me to make this video, and they don't actually even know I'm promoting them in this video whatsoever. So there's no obligation here to say anything good particularly about them, but I've used them for absolutely years. PC Specialist, if you don't know, they make custom PCs. Alright guys, I'm having to ninja edit in a bit of audio here while I'm editing, because while recording this section I actually put my finger over the microphone of the camera, so it came out super muffled. You couldn't understand anything I was saying. That's why I don't vlog too often, I guess. But either way, all I'm really saying in this section is that I did work with PC Specialist to make my own actual page where I've made 6 custom built computers for all different budgets. I worked really hard on it, and there's some great builds over there, so if you want to check that out, link is in the description. So I guess you might want to know what's in here. This is a Corsair case. I can't remember the name of it. Obviously all of the lighting is completely customizable. I've got like an orange or red theme going on at the moment. Maybe throughout the video I'll go over some different like looks you can get with all this LED lighting or whatever. Inside it is 32 gigs of RAM. I can't remember the speed, but it looks fancy. We've got some acrylic tubing in there as well, nice white acrylic tubing. A 1080 Ti, which is doing me very nicely. Obviously the 28 years out, but I normally skip a generation with graphics cards, especially if you get a higher end one. You can normally skip a generation, you don't tend to miss out. That's doing me very well still. And yeah, the processor, I think it's an 8700K, which is still one of the top end ones. But yeah, there is a newer generation of gear that's out now from what's inside here, but obviously because I went high end, this is all still doing me very well indeed. We've got some caps there. I actually got that cap from Logitech just with a mouse they sent me, so I just started buying caps. I don't actually even wear them that much, but I don't know, maybe I'll stop buying them because I'm not wearing them as much as I thought I would. Let's try and do the most interesting interesting things first. I guess these monitors are pretty cool. I did just buy this one on the left. This is an ASUS ROG Swift monitor. I can't remember the exact model number, but this is one with all the bells and whistles. I went all out and saved up for a super nice one. So it's got all the high-end stuff you'd expect. Like, it's got G-Sync, it's an IPS panel, it has 144 Hz refresh rate, and it's 1440p. For me at the moment, 1440p is the sweet spot. This monitor on the right here is similar but not quite as high spec. It's from BenQ. It is 1440p, it is 144 Hz, but it's not an IPS panel, it's a TM panel, which pretty much known as not being quite as nice as the IPS panels. There is a slight difference in the color here, you can see, but you probably can't appreciate the difference too much. The color settings might be just from what I've done myself, but I have to say the main thing that I really like with this IPS one from ASUS is the G-Sync. I think the G-Sync does make a huge difference to me when I'm gaming. Some people say they don't really notice it. Personally, I think it's really nice. So yeah, if you do want a really good FPS experience, I would highly recommend getting a high refresh rate monitor. If you can afford better than just high refresh rate, I'd go up to a 1440p if you have a good graphics card. And if you can afford to bump up a little bit more than that, I would go with the IPS panel. And I'd probably do it in that order. I'd prioritize refresh rate, then resolution, and then go for IPS. But obviously, you've got to have a pretty good setup if you're going to be pushing those high frame rates and whatever. We've got an Elgato key light, which I just got. I used to be sponsored by Elgato. I'm not sponsored by them at the moment, so I actually just bought that because they are pretty nice. I used to have one of those standard lights, but I haven't been streaming that much. I've got my cam there as well, but if you do want to follow my Twitch, it's just JayEx23, the same as my YouTube channel is. And I have been, well, not been streaming consistently, but I did stream a few times last week. Sometimes I do go on these little streaming bursts, so follow me on there if you want to check out all of that. Quickly, I guess the desk, if you want to know what the desk is, it's just an IKEA desk, guys. I can't remember the name or the model, whatever, but it's quite a nice big desk. It's always good to get a big desk if you've got the room for it. My microphone, I guess this is quite an important one. This is a Rode Procaster. It's a dynamic microphone, and if you're looking to get a microphone for home recording, like doing streams or YouTubing, I'd highly recommend you get a dynamic one like this. It's really, really good for if your room isn't perfectly acoustically treated. Sometimes with the condenser microphones, they pick up so much detail that they pick up all the room noise and all that kind of thing. This isn't focusing very well on it, but yeah, you don't really need to see it too clearly. Basically, it's a great microphone. It's lasted me a long time, and I don't see myself upgrading anytime soon. There's not really anything in the kind of price range that I would really think about going for. I think it was about £200. They're about that. You can also get a Podcaster, which is pretty much the same, but it's a USB input. So this one is XLR, goes into my little XLR mixer here. I guess this isn't a mixer, it's more of an audio interface. Nothing fancy about this. It's literally just something to take my XLR, which is those leads there, and then plug it into the computer. There's no effects on here, nothing crazy like that. I have used some like mixers before and whatever, but I end up going back to this because it's nice and simple, just does the job. These are well, they're AUDIO-TECHNICAs. I think they're called ATH40s or something like that. They're not super high-end ones.
Again, another piece of incredible recording here where I put my finger over the microphone for completely muffled audio. But what I'm basically saying is that these are great headphones, great audio response, all the frequencies nice and clear, not too heavy on the bass. You might have to go for something slightly different if you're like a big bass junkie. But I also bought these nice big thick foam ear pads for them as well. That's one thing I'd recommend no matter what your headphones you've got, is to get yourself some nice thick comfy pads, because obviously most of us who game a lot and watch a lot of YouTube do wear headphones a lot, so it's nice to have a bit of comfort while listening.
Some of you might know that I used to make beats as like a part-time thing. I did a degree in music production, so every now and then I'll make some music, and some of my videos have some of my music in, but I don't really feature it. It's just like silly little beats and stuff like that, but sometimes I still like to tinker around, so yeah, that's why I have that there. Onto the keyboard and mouse combo, I'm rocking the Corsair K70 Lux. I absolutely love this keyboard. In all my previous videos where I've done setups, the keyboard is the thing that I'm normally cheaped out on, because you can get away with not having a really great keyboard and you can still game pretty well. Like, it doesn't really enhance your gaming experience other than having nice mechanical keys. But this is another thing where I just wanted to treat myself a little bit and get something super nice. You can see it's got like an aluminium frame to it and it just feels real high quality. So I really like that. And like I said, I haven't got any sponsorship or anything like that. I just got that because I really like it. And that's on this Titan XL mouse pad or desk pad. If you haven't got one of these before, I'd highly recommend it. It's so much better than just having a mouse pad. And the mouse here is a Logitech G502, I think this is. There are some other Logitech mouses, and they actually offered to send me one of the wireless ones, but I like this one. It's got just the right amount of buttons on it. It's got, I think, about 8 or 9 buttons. Might even have more, but some of the other ones they've got have less buttons, and I found I needed that many. This is obviously a little bit grubby, as you can see, because I've used it for so long. Used this for a couple of years now, but yeah, that's done me really well, and it's a solid mouse. Loads of people use the Logitech mice. I guess I'll quickly just discuss some of the software that I use for those that people want to know. Nothing fancy at all, guys. I just use OBS to record. Even if I'm recording console stuff, I'll use OBS through my Elgato, which is actually in the computer. I don't know if you can see it in here. It's somewhere in there, the Elgato just sitting in there. So yeah, I use OBS to record. There's some great tutorials on how to get really nice, good quality OBS recordings without taking up too much CPU or GPU power. And I just use Sony Vegas 14 to edit my videos. So nothing really too fancy, and you can get the job done with those things. Obviously there are some more like higher end stuff, but because I'm so quick and so good with those programs now, that I've just stuck with them and they've done me absolutely fine. So here in the corner I've got a little bit of a gamer setup. I really wanted to improve my room in general that I game in, because you can see this back wall is a bit, I don't know, bare. This is like behind me when I stream, and other than some Overwatch prints up there, which you can't even see in my webcam, I didn't have anything cool behind me, so I decided to turn this little area into something that looks a little bit nicer and a little bit more like something you'd have in a gaming room. And some of these things are actually a little bit sentimental to me and a bit exclusive, so I thought you might want to see them. We've just got a Canon camera there. Sometimes I use that. A few years ago I used to do a lot more vlogs and real life stuff, so that came in handy for that. We've got a RGB fidget spinner there. That's actually pretty sick. One of my business cards, just because I've got so many. The 100k plaque, obviously I'm very proud of that. Doesn't look like we'll be getting to 1 million. I mean, if we do current growth, I'll get to 1 million in, like, I don't know, 100 years. But we might get to 500k in a reasonable amount of time. But there's no plaque for that, unfortunately. So there's my 100k plaque, which is very, very nice. We've got one of my PlayStations here, and I say one of them because this one is actually a broken one. So I thought I'd just put it up here. This PS4 Pro broke like a year or two ago, so I actually had to buy another one. So this has just been sitting around, but it makes quite a nice little I don't know, nice little decoration there in a gaming setup. I've got my Spino here, if I could get a focus on there. I actually got that in my legendary edition of Ark that Wildcard sent me, so that's pretty cool. It's actually got my name on it, but that faces the other way, so I don't know, it doesn't really look as cool that way. Either way, he's there, he's pretty cool. And here we've got some controllers, and there's nothing really too special about these, apart from this, I guess. This is the Nvidia Shield. They've made a couple of these, I think, maybe even 3, and this is a really weird thing. It's like a mix between a phone that doesn't do phone calls, so just a tablet, I guess, but also it's got like a controller on it as well. If I open it up, I'll be able to show you. And you can see there, you can actually stream from your PC onto this, which I guess other mobile devices do now, I'm not sure. But it never really took off too much, this thing. Not many people have these. Bit of a strange market, but it's a cool little piece of tech. And I think in quite a few years, people might look back at that and be like, oh, what's that? Like, I never noticed that at the time. But who knows? Maybe they'll develop some more. But either way, that was the first generation ever, and they sent me that out. So I think that's pretty cool. And these two controllers here are actually my own custom controllers. You cannot buy these now. And they were only available for about a year. I was sponsored by Imagine Customs. They asked me if I wanted to have my own controller, and I was like, yeah, sure, that'd be awesome. So they made me these. Unfortunately, the stick on that one has been chewed by my dog, but oh well, that happens. But yeah, I could probably replace that. But I really love these because these are probably the only ones in the world. I mean, I don't know if anyone bought one of these. They were available for a while, but there really wasn't too much promotion about it. And I think these look super cool. They're like nice, subtle design. Just got my branding on there. And yeah, you definitely can't buy them now unless you were going to completely make your own one. But yeah, they've got the buttons on the back and everything. They're not just... you know, they're not just a paint job, they're actually fully functional like the Scuff. So I do have a Scuff here as well. I'm not sponsored by those either, but I really like Scuff controller. They are probably the best controllers. But yeah, that's something a little bit nostalgic, and I thought you guys might want to see. So I guess that completes my 2019 setup video. The only thing I really didn't mention was my LEDs that I have, as you can see. And obviously you can do all different kinds of colours. Maybe at the end here I'll go over a few of the different kinds of setups I've got with the wallpapers and whatever. If you want cool wallpapers like this, I actually use something called Wallpaper Engine. You can check that out on Steam. I can't remember if it's free or not. I do think you have to buy it, but there are a lot of nice wallpapers on there. And like I said previously, feel free to follow me on Twitch. I've got a much nicer setup now, so I'll be encouraged to stream a lot more often. Obviously, any comments and questions you've got, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to answer them as and when I get around to them. But that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at everything that I'm using here to make my videos and all that stuff, and I'll see you next time.